I now declare the May 20th, 2021 BZA meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, roll call.
Carrie Simpkins.
Here.
Bill Crawford.
Here.
Jeff Fisher.
Here.
Darren Price.
Here.
Leota is absent. Bill McDaniel.
Present.
Jeff Wessling.
President.
And myself.
Do we have those minutes?
We have minutes for the 25th, February 25th. No, we didn't have a meeting, so then, no.
Okay. All right. All right, next on the agenda is the petition number 15269, property owner Bruce Fowl asking for, help me.
Home occupation
Yeah,
for
home
barbershop.
occupation, sorry. And, so we'll want to open that meeting, the public meeting up on that. So I guess we'll start with you, Bruce, just kind of come up to the podium and basically just give a clue of what you're trying to do and what your plans
Well,
are.
first of all, I've been owner and operator of Grandview Barbershop for the last 50 years in this town. And I just recently closed it up. Simply due to the fact you can't find help to run a 4-chair shop in this town. So now I'm asking and wanting to put a shop on my breezeway. I've closed my breezeway in behind my house. And I want to put a 1-chair shop in there and run it from preferably 10 to 4, 3 days a week. And there'll be some days I may have to open earlier. There'll be some days I'll have to stay later for some people that work out of town and can't get in before closing time.
Okay.
It will be handicap accessible.
Okay.
And it'd be on-street parking and appointment only. Everybody has been asked to park out front of my house, walk down the alley, get their haircut, and walk back to their car and leave on 28th Street.
And there's only going to be 1 chair, right?
1 chair.
Okay.
1-chair shop.
All right. Anybody got any questions for him?
Read those into the record, please.
All right.
I did not get a chance to drive down there, and I couldn't tell off of the map very good. And I assume, but I just want to make sure when you're talking about handicap parking, you're talking about your concrete,
My driveway.
your driveway
It'd be
there.
my driveway. That's the only way I'd let them come down the alley, drop them off, and then I could let them stay there, or they could go back around and park
Okay.
out front. But
I did drive down through there and it looked,
There's adequate
I
room
mean, I got
for
plenty
that.
of driveway for them.
Yeah, and I assume I'm assuming you know in advance who's going to need that kind of access, and it's not. You see what I'm getting at? Like, so the only concern I had was if you were actually using your driveway, would there always be room there? You know, if you're 2 o'clock, you know, if you had visitors, or you see what I'm getting at, to make sure there always was access for that appointment. Like, I feel like you're going to know that in advance. Is that
Right.
accurate?
Right, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's the only question I had, I think.
Okay.
Well, while speaking with you is, did you decide anything yet whether or not you, as far as a sign goes?
There's a sign.
Because you didn't know whether you're going to go that direction or not.
I don't know if I'll have a sign or not. I mean, really, I want to take care of my loyal customers. It's been with me since forever, since I've been in this town. That's really why I'm still working. I want to take care of them people.
Okay.
Okay. That's good.
And I don't know if I mentioned, I'm only going to work 3 days a week, from like around 10 to 4.
Okay.
I may have to work a little, some weeks I might have to work a little bit more, I don't know. Just depends on how busy I might get.
Okay.
Okay, and would it be strictly just during the weekdays, work days? Or would you ever do it on a Saturday?
No, it's, right now it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
All right, I think, anybody else got a question for him? Okay, you can sit down. Do I need to read these?
Yeah, if you'd read those two letters into the record, please.
Okay, the first letter is dated May 19th, 2021, and to whom it may concern. Bruce Foe is requesting permission to operate his barbershop at his home located at 408 West 28th Street, Connersville, Indiana, 47331. His plan is to schedule appointments so as to have only one car parked on his property at any one time. I have been a customer of Bruce's for 35 years and know him to be meticulous in every way. He maintains his property to perfection, and neighbors would have no reason to expect disruption in any way. I have the utmost respect for Bruce and recommend that his request be granted.
Is that signed by?
That's signed by Daryl Maines. Thank you for asking that. And second one is from Dave and Cindy Rowland. To whom it may concern, and it's dated May 8th, 2021. My name is David Rowland and my wife is Cindy. We live at 420 West 28th Street. We live right across the alley from Bruce Foe. We do not care in any way, shape, or form if Bruce has his barbershop at his home. That is his business. He is a very good neighbor, so we are fine with it. Dave and Cindy Rowland. Okay. Now, I'll take a
Anyone else?
motion to,
Well,
oh,
let's go.
yeah, let's go back.
Yeah, if anyone else wants to speak, yeah.
My name's Ron House. I live at 2825 Indiana Avenue. I've lived there for 30 years. And before that, from 1973 to 1991, I lived at 402 West 28th Street. So for 48 years, I've been in this same block. Now, and that's what it is a nice, quiet neighborhood. I'd like for it to stay that way. If I wanted to live in a commercial area, I'd move up on 30th Street. Or I'd move up by Walmart. I'd move somewhere where there's a bunch of businesses. I do not want that. People live in a residential area for a reason. They don't want a business next door to them, or they don't want one out their back door. Now, I've got a few things here, so if you don't mind, I'll try to read them and we'll go from there.
That's fine.
I'm not against commercial business. Everybody in this room knows Connersville needs more business. But businesses need to be in a commercial area, not a residential area. And there's plenty of empty buildings around Connersville where you can put businesses. As a matter of fact, one barbershop just closed right next door. One of Bruce's employees is running that place. And there's another one up on East 30th Street that just opened. There's a building on Eastern that says very, very low rent. Like I said, there's lots of empty buildings in this town that could easily be converted into a barbershop. Now, I understand supplementing your income in retirement. I'm retired. I understand that completely. But if you want to run a business in a commercial area, not in a residential area. Now, I don't know the rules to this proceeding, but how many of you that are going to vote on this have been by here to check this area out?
I have.
Darren?
Yeah,
You?
I've been.
I have.
Okay, fine. I just want to know that people are going to vote on something that they've seen.
It was tonight, before the meeting.
I worry about the depreciation of my property. I worry about the depreciation of the property in the neighborhood, in the residential neighborhood. Look at some of the houses that are around commercial areas. They usually go down. And there's a reason for that. People don't keep them up. They don't want a commercial business next door to them in a residential area. And this is what this is. This is a business. That's what he wants to have, is a business in a residential area. I worked for 47 years at UPS. I was a delivery man. And I delivered to a lot of beauty shops that were in residential areas. And I heard neighbors complaining about the shops all the time. They complained about the customers waiting outside with their radios blasting. They complained about people throwing out trash. They complained about the people parking in their space. They complained about people blocking their driveways. And some of them said they had erected signs and it said they did no good. Did no good at all. People did not respect any of that. Then I heard the shop owners complaining about the people that were complaining about them. So this isn't new. This isn't a new business that's, okay, let's start this and nobody's going to complain about it. This stuff isn't new. This stuff has gone on for a long time in a lot of these residential businesses or residential areas that have businesses there. Now, I just heard in the letter that I got from Mr. McDaniel, it didn't have the hours of operation. I had no idea what the hours of operation were going to be. And I don't know that it's going to be posted anywhere. Whatever he said, that could be changed at any time. Doyle had a barber shop over there. I think he came in at 4 o'clock in the morning. It could be from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening, 9 to 9. I don't know, you know. He said 3 days a week. That could change. That could change. It could be 3 days a week. Could be 7 days a week. How many customers is he going to have? Is he going to have 3 customers a day? Is he going to have seven customers a day? Is he going to have 20 a day? You know, I don't know. Who knows? Now, the back of my property, I live on Indiana Avenue, and the back of my property aligns with his property. And I'm building a new garage next to his back there. And there is an access in the alley. And I asked Mr. Full, I said, how would you like it if I started a car detailing business out of that garage? Having 2 cars in the garage, 2 cars sitting out on a driveway. And I didn't get an answer. I still haven't got an answer. Now, I told Mr. Full this. I said, you know, I don't care if it's him or anybody else in the neighborhood. It's a residential neighborhood. And I specifically pointed to every house in the neighborhood. I said, I don't care if they was wanting to put a business, they was wanting to put a business, they was wanting to put it. I said, I would be down here complaining about it. Because it's not right to have a business in a residential area. People do not like that. People don't want that. That's why we have residentials and we have commercial zones. That's the reason for it. I have 2 grandchildren that live right next door to me, 5 and 8 years old. And they obviously play in their backyard and they play in my backyard. And like I said, the alley runs behind my house and Bruce's house and my son's house. Now, they play out there, they play basketball, they play baseball. They have a little swimming pool there, kickball, soccer. Now, just don't you think that traffic's going to increase a lot down that alley? Just because he says they're not. It's already increased down that alley. And I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But this is something that I shouldn't have to worry about. And living in a residential area is a bunch of cars going up and down the alley, which I know people use the alley. I don't have no problem with that. I'm talking about business in an alley, is what I'm talking about. As I said before, I don't know the rules of this procedure, but if this is approved, and Mr. Full was to sell his house, would this be grandfathered into the next owner?
No.
It's a temporary use. Once
Temporary for how long?
Once Mr. Full ceases the business, or if Mr. Full sells and moves, it's gone. It strictly rides with.
Is
Mr.
that in
Full.
writing? Because I've heard that's not the case.
That is the case for a home occupation because it's granted as a temporary use.
Okay.
Because it is not a variance, it is not a special exception, it is not a rezone. It is strictly meant as a temporary use. Because once they're moved, it's gone. Once Mr. Full stops, it's gone. It does not transfer to another property owner, it's gone.
Okay. And that's in writing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then this kind of eliminates this problem here. Okay. The letter I got from Mr. McDaniel stated 1 chair, appointment only, 3 days a week. What's to stop him from adding other chairs? What's to stop him from allowing walk-ins to come in without an appointment? What's to stop him from operating 5, 6, 7 days a week? I read what the plans are, but it's a business in a residential area, and we all know business plans change all the time. I have a photo of a sign that was on his previous barber shop. It says, parking on street parking. I thought that was public parking. I didn't think that you could designate a parking, Bruce's Barbershop parking. I thought that was public. I thought anybody could park there. So if somebody's parked there, is he gonna come out and make them pull away? You gonna make them move? Now, he says he didn't want anybody parking in his driveway. He told me this. He said, I don't want anybody parking in my driveway. And I said, I know why too. Because you don't want the oil stains or the antifreeze stains on your driveway. So that's why you tell them to park out front. And I've seen some cars parked there, and he comes out and tells them to move. I've seen it. I've got pictures of it. If you want to see them, I'll be glad to show them to you. And let me tell you, the garage that I'm building is right next door to his driveway. I will not put up a sign saying do not park here. I will not warn anybody. I will have a tow truck number on my speed dial if there is such a thing anymore. Who knows? I won't, in other words, as soon as there's somebody in my driveway that doesn't belong there, a tow truck will be called. Like I said, I don't know the rules of all this. It's the first time I've been down here for one of these. But I wouldn't think you'd be allowed to operate a business before you got the approval to. But he's already in business and has been since May the 7th. This letter stated, well, today's meeting, the 20th, he was already operating on May the 7th. And the reason I know that is because a man came to my house, or I should say my driveway, looking for Bruce Fold. So I'm, okay, fine. Well, I'd look around and see where he's going, and he goes, and there's already 2 cars parked in front of his house. So I'm guessing he started May the 7th. And so at least on May the 7th he had 2 customers, which was a Friday. On May the 11th he had at least 6. I live next door. These are the things I observe, I've seen. I've got photos if you want to see them. May the 13th he had 6 customers, at least. I'm not out there all the time. I'm not going to see all of them. I wasn't trying to see all of them. I just happened to notice. On May the 14th he had 10 customers. On May the 18th he had 11 customers. Today, before 3:30, because I left home at 3:30, he had 13. Like I said, I don't know how this operates. I don't know that I don't know why you'd be allowed to operate before you was given the okay to operate. And he has a system where he would fly a flag if he's open, and if he's not open, he takes the flag in, but thank goodness it's an American flag. Now, I know I'm going to be the bad guy here. I know that I'm the bad one. I get that. I'm the bad guy in the neighborhood. I get that. I got broad, big shoulders. I can handle it. But this is a residential area. It's not a commercial. This is a business that he wants to establish there. And like I said before, I understand people wanting to supplement their income. I get that. I understand that. But go put it in a commercial area. Now, I asked some neighbors about it. One of them said, I'm okay with it. Another one said, I'm definitely against it, but I don't want to appear before the board, and I understand that. Another neighbor said, I'll sign a petition if you have it, and I didn't go that way. I probably should have, but I didn't. And they said, I don't want to cause trouble, but I don't want to appear, but I'm against it. Another neighbor said, I don't know why he even applied for a permit. He does what he wants to do anyway. I wish more people would show up for these all over the city, not just this neighborhood, and even if you're for it, come down and say you're for it. But I don't think there's going to be too many people out by the high school saying, hey, let's put a barber shop in my neighborhood. Or Town North, hey, let's put a barber shop in next door to me. How about out by the high school, Westwood, Hanson Meadows, Village Creek, Woodside Village? I don't think you're going to get a lot of people say, hey, I want this barber shop next to me. But like I said, I wish more people would come down and complain. Because if this goes through, this or any other goes through, it's going to be too late. Don't come crying to me or complaining to me or anybody else about it. If you can't come down here and voice your opinion, this is what you could possibly get. Now, the thing is that all these people that don't show up, I don't think they realize that this is your property. This could depreciate your property. This involves your money, your neighborhood, your kids, your grandkids, your neighborhood, your being around your house, your neighbors. Now, I know you people on this board have heard all these arguments before. I'm sure you have. But you got to ask yourself, what if that was my house? And I don't know where some of you live. Some of you I do, some of you I don't. Been a UPS man for 47 years. You see a few people. But you got to ask yourself, would I want that next to me? I don't. Several of my neighbors don't. And one of the people that wrote the letter, if they'd been home today, there was no place for them to park because they don't park in their driveway. But wouldn't you be down here complaining about it like me? Because I don't think you would want a barbershop next to you. And I'm not talking about just a barbershop. I'm talking about a business. Any business. Like I said before, I've heard the people complaining about these businesses in residential areas. And I don't imagine the ones that are complaining about it went down to complain when that business was asked to be allowed to go there. And I want to thank everybody for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Does anybody else want to speak?
Yes, my name is David Lay. I own Lay's Wiring Service. It's a small business. I run that out of my house, like a lot of small business owners do. And I've known Bruce for probably 35 or 40 years. Like Darrell Main said, he's very meticulous about what he does. I used to go to his barber shop when he had a Grandview Barber and Style Shop up there on Saturday, because that's the only day really that I had to get in, and he had walk-ins available. Since the coronavirus hit, that stopped. And as of this day, he does not have any walk-ins. It's appointments only. And I've been up and down, or east and west on 28th Street, and it's not that busy a street. And he has told me that if I come up there, I need to park out in front of his house and walk down the alley. And his breezeway that he's got his shop in, there is not enough room but for one person in there at a time. And if if the person brings children in there, he's got one chair there that they can sit in. And I know Ron, I consider him a friend too, but I would just ask the board to grant this home business, and that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm Bill Wolf, and I've been going up to Bruce's barber shop for 50 years, even before he was even in there. And I looked in the telephone book today, and there was listed 4 barber shops in the whole town. And that one of them was Bruce's, the other one's Leanne's at 2204 Western. Carl's got the downtown shop now. And then there's one that says his and hers at 410 Eastern. I don't know if there's one still over there or not. I drove by there, and I didn't see it.
And Leanne's been closed for.
It's been closed?
Probably close to
So-
a decade.
You know, and I will personally say that anybody that has ever started in a town, there was never any businesses, they were all homes. And all the commercial places today, there used to be homes. I've been around Connersville, I'm almost 75 years old. And to grant him a barber shop to do that for 3 days a week, I cannot see anything wrong with it, because the man is very meticulous, just like they said, about everything he does, and a very, very good man. And he originally was from Brookville and moved to Connersville to support this town.
We won't hold that against him.
You won't hold that. How about me, Bill?
No, not you either. Thank you. Okay.
Bruce,
Steve?
there is a rebuttal, if nobody else wants to speak.
Oh, hang on, there's.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
PZA. Just to take a few minutes of your time. Bruce Fall is a veteran of the Air Force. Bruce Fall is a meticulous businessman. He's meticulous in keeping his yard, his home, his cars. He's difficult to work for. I have. I restored a car for him back in the 70s, and I didn't think I was ever going to get done with it because he's so meticulous and so demanding. You do remember that? I do. Okay. So, why am I here? I'm advocating for business. Bruce Foll has been a pillar of the business community for over 40 years in one location, up in the Corridor Mall. Now he wants to cut back, reduce his hours. I don't think the crowd that he'll be appealing to will have loud radios or be throwing trash. I think they're closer to my age than a crowd that will be doing things like that. I went up and looked at the location. I drove up and down the alley. I looked at the 28th Street location. This is a non-issue. And I like Mr. House. He's a good man. Known him clear back when he used to deliver UPS going to business. But Bruce Foll, if there was anybody that would be non-threatening and not create an environment of change that you would not like to suffer through, it would be Bruce's business. 2 or 3 people, 4 people, 5 people a day, 6, 7 people a day. How many hours in a day are there? And there's spots on 28th Street, and that's all public parking. There is no my space on 28th Street. And if you did have a handicapped person, he's got ample concrete there that goes right into that breezeway. If he doesn't put a sign up, you'll never know he's there. This is a non-issue. I would hope that you would find in his favor. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anyone else, or would you like to make any more comments?
Yeah, he has the opportunity for a rebuttal.
Right.
Oh, yeah, rebuttal, if there's any comments maybe you want to clarify.
The recent traffic up and down,
No, you
Yeah,
can't,
you'll have to.
you need to talk to us.
up and down the alley.
Yeah, you need to speak to the chair.
I just wonder if that couldn't have been the people working for Ron over there.
Building a garage.
There's been trucks parked in the alley, not said anything about it. Turn around, go out the other way. I'm not a complainer. I let people live their own life. But I don't know what he's talking about, all these cars around there. The people that come to me for a haircut, park in front of my house, they walk down the alley, get a haircut, walk back down the alley, get in their car, and they leave. I book haircuts an hour apart, and if I'm busy enough, I book them 30 minutes apart, and I can have them in and out before the next one's there. I'm just asking to be able to make a living and not have to go pay rent somewhere else like I've been doing for the last 50 years. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I'll move to close the public hearing.
All right. Got a motion made to close the public hearing. Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All righty. Any discussion? Anybody need discussion?
I don't have any discussion per se. Ron, you know that I'm very familiar with the neighborhood. And for many years, Marge McCain ran a 4 or 5 chair shop right across the street from you. And Neil's Garden Center was there for many years. Between those two businesses, there was way more traffic than Bruce is going to ever create. And there were way more kids in that neighborhood than there are now.
But they're my kids,
I
my
understand.
grandkids.
We probably
My
should,
house.
we probably need to discuss this just between us and not directly with him. I mean, you can make that comment, but
Right.
I'm not saying you can't talk, but we need to keep it up here. Because that public hearing is closed
Right.
as far as talking to them.
So, you know, to me, the one chair in a house versus what's been there in the past really seems like a non-issue to me as well.
Yeah, we have this board has a long history of supporting the home occupations for salons and barbershops. It's not a given by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not as if this is a extraordinary situation that we're looking at here. And yeah,
What do you think about maybe, just mainly for people in the neighborhood's sake, putting it in as a, what do they call it, like a rural,
a condition.
a condition, thank you, that he keeps it as one person operation? Because some people are concerned that possibly he'll get started and then next thing you know, it's 2, and they're concerned with that. But if we put that stipulation in there, then we've got something to go back and say, no, you can't do this. You've got this with this condition that you don't have a second chair.
I'm going to talk out of both sides of my mouth because
Okay.
I really think that that's probably a good solution to help provide some comfort to the neighborhood.
Right.
But on the other hand, there's been situations where, as you have so aptly pointed out to me, when that's a hard one to enforce.
Yeah.
And it becomes a he said, she said. One of the things that I could see becoming an issue is, let's say, Mr. Fole has a water line break and he's got a plumber in there working, and then he's also got a few clients in there. How easy is it going to be for neighbors to allege that he has somebody else working in there because they saw 2 people, 2 men standing in there at the same time and 2 customers, or you see what I'm getting at? Like,
Yeah.
that to me is going to be enforcement of that I don't want to create another area for potential contention. So I guess I wouldn't sink it over that condition. The enforcement of that condition worries me.
I agree. You can't, we're not gonna police that.
Not effectively, I don't think.
No, I mean, that's,
I'm not driving up there every day. I don't
I'm not
think
either.
Bill is, and I don't think we should ask that.
no.
Well, I'll tell you, and Bruce is gonna know this, but when I went up there are 2 chairs in that room. One of them is just sitting there as a decoration, probably for, I don't know what it's there for. But when I see
Mr.
that,
Lay, and again, this isn't a time for their feedback, but Mr. Lay
Right.
indicated one is like a smaller chair for a kid.
it's a barber chair.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's why I'm wanting to put that in there, that, okay, take that chair out of there. There's no possibility of somebody looking in the window or something and saying, he's got 2 chairs. Well, and I think Bruce would do that, of course, but, if
Is it appropriate for us,
if we-
Jeff,
Yeah.
is it appropriate for us to ask Mr. Full a question at this point?
Yeah, just because, so the public hearing portion means everybody has the right to speak. The rest of the meeting, you can ask them any questions you want. They have the opportunity to speak, correct?
Okay.
You need enlightenment.
Huh?
You need enlightenment.
Yes, I just want to make sure before so why are there 2 chairs? That's important to me. I don't know if it is for the rest of the board, but I would like to.
That's why I
Well,
wanted out.
there's 2 chairs in there because when I closed my 4-chair shop in the shopping center, I didn't have nowhere to put the chairs.
You owned 2 chairs and then you had.
I own 4 chairs.
Yeah, so
2 of them's in the garage. So I'm not gonna have people out there cutting hair. And the other one, I just set it in that corner, filled the corner up, really. It's,
Would you,
Would you entertain?
do you feel like it would be an imposition on your business? I would rather ask you to remove a chair than
I'll
to.
take it out,
Yeah.
it's no problem. I'll find a place for it, sell it. I didn't wanna sell them yet. I just wasn't ready to let them go.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
it's nostalgia.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay. Well,
is that,
that satisfied me. Yeah. I'm just, and I know he wasn't planning on using it,
No,
but
not gonna use
it just looked
it
the
helps
wrong way.
make the adjustment,
Yeah.
okay.
So if we get that out of there, then.
So I move that we approve the home occupation for Mr. Full on the condition that he only has 1 chair in the shop area.
So you are putting like a condition on there, okay.
Again, to make everybody happy, I think that's an easy one, to 1 barber shop chair. I mean, clearly you're gonna have to have some place for people to sit in the middle.
Well, I got 1 other chair they can sit in.
Yes, but you see it like,
That's
so,
usually if a woman brings her husband in who's crippled
yeah,
and wants to wait on him
yeah.
for her.
Okay,
Or
so you got that?
That's a much easier, more concrete than
Yeah.
2 men standing there.
Say your motion again, please.
Yeah.
I move to approve the motion with the special condition that he only has 1 barber chair.
1 barber chair.
Looking for a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the petition passes. All right, next on the agenda is a director's report. Oh, wait a minute. Bruce, you just need to go down and talk to Bill, right? And get the permit. The actual Bill McDaniel.
Yeah,
Just stop down to the
well,
office.
what you can do is if I'm not immediately available, okay, as soon as I have the opportunity, we will get it in your hands. All
And
right?
You have the approval now, but to get the paper, you'll have to go back and see Bill to get a paper copy of the approval.
Okay,
Yeah, because what we do is when something's approved with a special exception or home occupation, is one of the things we do is we send a letter to let the petitioner know what the result is. It's part of it.
but you do have approval, like you said.
Please.
You do have the approval, so you're okay to operate. Okay,
Yeah.
director's report? Oh, we don't have it, all right?
Yeah, I think we have it.
Oh, we do?
I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, I sent it out way back.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was
Well, it
like,
must have been so long ago that I didn't remember.
Yeah, I sent it out when I sent the packages.
I thought maybe I had the date wrong because he sent out the packet so early.
I know.
Like, I was kind of caught off guard today.
May
I'm not gonna lie.
4th. We're impressed.
I'm trying to do a better job of getting those things out.
Making me look bad.
Okay,
I'm not gonna say anything.
all right. So, anybody have any concerns with the director's report?
I move to accept the director's report as presented.
I'll second it.
All right, we got a motion made and properly seconded to accept that director's report. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next on the agenda is adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, move to adjourn is probably placed and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.